Here we have a volcano vaporizer. A vaporizer is a device that heats cannabis to a temperature below combustion. And this is important because it's combustion, it's the smoking of cannabis that creates all of the nasty chemicals in the smoke, like benzene and all the hydrocarbons and all of the and all of those nasty chemicals. So inhaling cannabis, patients prefer to smoke or inhale cannabis because it offers a rapid onset, it takes effect very quickly, and this allows patients to more effectively titrate their dose, which means it makes it easier for patients to figure out how much to use because it takes effect so quickly. So when a patient is smoking or inhaling cannabis, all they need is to take a few puffs and it'll start working very quickly, and they can adjust their dose from there. Whereas with the cannabis edibles, it's a bit trickier because your body metabolizes ingested cannabis at a slower rate, so it takes a bit longer for it to take effect. And once it does take effect, that effect is far more intense and longer lasting than when you inhale it. But anyways, this device heats the cannabis up to a temperature below combustion, but to a point where the active ingredients, called cannabinoids, are vaporized and turned into and inhalable. So I'll show you how it works. Here we have 3 different varieties of cannabis. There are hundreds of different strains of cannabis, and each of which has its own unique quantity and proportion of cannabinoids. So there's THC, which everybody's familiar with because it's so infamously responsible for the psychoactivity. But there are other secondary cannabinoids that are just as important and have their own therapeutic effects. And it's the synergy between THC and cannabidiol and cannabigerol and all of the other cannabinoids which give the cannabis strains their unique medicinal effects. So the strain that works for the MS patient for their spasms, for their spasticity and their pain and their appetite is not the same strain of cannabis that an HIV/AIDS patient will use to lift their mood or to quell their nausea. We have 3 varieties here. This is Hayoma, this is Purple Kush, and this is called Jack Herer. These 2 are indica varieties, and this is a sativa variety. So the Volcano device is essentially a heating element and an air pump. So the way it works is you take some cannabis, we'll take some Purple Kush, and we'll put it in our herb grinder here. And we grind the herb. We grind the herb so that there's as much surface area of the herb exposed in the machine as possible. And we put it into the chamber like this. And you can see even here in the dust, you can see the trichomes of the cannabis plant. You can see the trichomes are where the cannabinoids are contained. So there's little crystals that cover the buds, and that is where all of the medicinal ingredients are contained. And it's when we sieve these crystals, when we separate these crystals from the plant itself, that's how hashish is made. So anyways, the cartridge is now full of cannabis. We'll put this on here like this, and we'll load it onto the machine. We let it run. We let the air pass over it for a couple of seconds to pre-vaporize. Now you can see the vapor coming out. And we put the bag on like this to collect the vapor for inhalation. And you can see that the vapor is still cloudy. There's still, it does create a kind of, you can see the vapor. It looks kind of like smoke, but it's not smoke. These are cannabinoid vapors. And so they fill the bag, comes up. We remove the cartridge, and now this is a bag of cannabis vapors that are ready for inhalation.